Think you know which way it's going to go? You should head on over to Sports Interaction. When the puck drops, Sports Interaction has you covered.
Live in play.
Live in play.
But pregame.
Pregame, live in play are one of their many prop bets. I wasn't ready.
On all major sports and prop bets. Want to bet? SportsInteraction.com/STPN. 19 plus, please play responsibly. I'm keeping them on their toes. So then the Leafs go to overtime. And
wow,
it's a quick, painful death.
Dude, they're so deep in their own heads.
Why?
Because they anticipate failure. I don't want to be a boomer about this, but this is why they lose game sevens. Because they think they're gonna. They anticipate failure.
How did they anticipate failure?
You think the Matthews turnover?
Is it who they put over? What like who? What
no, because the reason they lost is Matthews turns over the puck right to the Lightning. You know, that's what happened. But I don't think that it was a mental lapse because he thinks he's going to lose 3-on-3.
So then they're just bad.
I think he's just not great at that, and you can't make that play.
But they were good at this before.
They used to be pretty good at this.
This is not a team that. Oh yeah, this is not a team that's traditionally bad in overtime. Okay. This is new this year. This is way new. Mm-hmm. They didn't. Okay, I'll have a look at their records. Sure. Maple Leafs.
Matthews has scored how many overtime winners? Tavares 2, Marner 2.
So you think
Riley
that turnover he makes at when he enters the zone, he turns around, he sends it right to the Lightning. That turnover is a mental lapse because they think they're going to lose.
I think so.
Okay,
Matthews at 3-on-3 is clearly not as good as he is at 5-on-5, and there's got to be something.
All right, give me a second here. I want to tell you guys. This is how stark this is.
Okay.
26 games this year. The Leafs have lost 6 times in overtime.
Mm-hmm. Out of 7.
Last year, they lost 7 the entire year.
The whole season?
The year before in 56, they lost 7. The year before in 70 games, because of the shortened COVID, 9. The year before that, 8. So they're on pace to quadruple what they have historically done with this group.
They're on pace to lose like 15, 20 games in overtime.
Right.
And that's 15 or 20 points, but they're way
the last
in
time
their own heads.
They lost this many, I believe, is Babcock's second year, Matthews first, where they won 40, but then they lost 15 in overtime and actually finished below 500 in the 16-17 season. And still, isn't that nuts?
Wow.
Yeah. But they had a lot of OTLs there. And that team gave up a lot of shit. And they gave a lot of leads.
And so we're talking about the Matthews turnover. Matt Murray has been a wonderful Maple Leaf.
One time.
That's a bad goal.
One bad goal. I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you, Jess.
Part of me, I watch that and I'm like, okay, we're talking about this. It's 100% a thing. You know, you lose 6 of 7. It's a thing. But are we putting too much into the yips? Their mental lapses. Are we putting too much into that because your goalie's got to have that puck? I'm not going to disrespect the guy. He's a multi-time champion. Who am I talking about? Matt Murray or Alex Killorn? Both of them. But, both of those guys have won back-to-back cups. That's Alex Killorn. Dude, he's not even in the top 10 most dangerous shooters on that team. He's not.
You're disrespectful.
He's not.
You're disrespectful.
Kucherov?
Yeah.
Stamkos?
Yeah.
Hedman?
Yeah.
Point?
Yeah.
Sorelli?
Yeah.
I'd probably rather face Killorn than Perry.
Sure.
Who else we got
Zach
on that
Bogosian,
godforsaken team? Why don't I just name them all? Dude. He's definitely not top 5.
Matt Murray is undefeated in regulation since coming back from injury.
That's wild.
Of the 7, I believe he's 5-0-2. Of those 7 games, he's got 1 bad goal.
Yeah,
I think he's got 1 bad goal and it happened on Saturday.
He's been solid.
He's been great.
Yeah, no,
I'll give it to him. That's fine.
I'm not going to make this about him and he lost the game for the team. No, I think he helped get the game to overtime.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix the OT thing. It's a thing, and those lapses in judgment. If you think it's because of mentally they're going into it how to lose, I don't know how to fix that. I'm throwing my hands up.
Well, Matt Murray is a guy that decidedly, if anybody doesn't have the yips, it's him. That guy's played in pressure situations. So at least this time, it's not the goaltending. There are times. Oh wow, Steve, that's fantastic.
I think this water bottle's fucked.
Lots of water on Steve. I think that in the past, I think Freddie Anderson for sure had it. As much as I loved Freddie's era, there were times where he was unbelievable in the playoffs, but a good chunk of the time he was not.
And aim 5-hole.
And exactly.
Aim 5-hole. And what's he going to do? Aim 5-hole.
So
how do you fix 3-on-3?
Well, at least I think you got to keep just doing it and then starting to believe that you can. And I wonder if doing things like starting David Kampf, as the first line out there. Now they didn't do that in overtime, but not putting out like if your star players aren't getting it, you throw those fucking players out there until they do.
What's the LFR lineup? Give it to me.
My LFR lineup. I don't remember who I had on defense. Do you?
Mete.
Mete.
Yeah.
So Mete, Giordano. I don't care. One of those two.
Because that's all you have.
And I do Kampf Engvall.
You're out of your mind.
I know.
That's
right?
so.
I was so upset.
And you're talking about the Leafs Galaxy branding it. You're Galaxy branding it.
I was so
you play
upset that you
Matthews,
suggested
Marner.
it.
Who scored the winner? Who scored the winner? Who scored the winner?
Marner.
Who scored the winner?
Matthews, Marner.
Answer the fucking
and their
question.
best defenseman that game, who's Giordano.
Who scored the winner? For Tampa.
If you did that,
I don't know.
Killorn.
Yeah.
And you forget because it's Killorn.
Steve.
So don't tell me someone in your depth.
Here's the difference with Killorn versus Engvall and Kampf. Killorn has a multi-year contract where he's worth like $5 million a year. You're talking about literally throwing out $3.5 million.
You're fired.
Why are
I'm
you?
firing you as
why are
head
you
coach.
playing?
Who scored the winner for the Devils?
Yeah, who else was on the?
Who scored the winner for the Devils?
The really long Russian name guy.
Sharon Govich.
That's right.
Who scored the winner for the Leafs?
I don't know.
Nick Robertson.
Now there's a guy I'd put out in overtime.
You'd put him out in overtime?
Absolutely,
You're putting a rookie out in overtime? You're
sure.
fired. I'm firing you immediately.
Why would you fire him
I think
immediately?
there's a
I'm firing
difference
you
between
immediately. No, I'm firing you differently.
Robertson didn't start that OT.
That's right.
Maybe you should have. You won it.
Okay.
Stop.